College Board of Trustees, Community College District Number 511, regular board meeting for August 26, 2025. May we have a roll call, please?
Yes, we may.
Make it slow so she can get.
Salto,
No.
Goldsmith here. Nelson,
Here.
Trojan,
Here.
Simpson,
Here.
Kudia,
Here.
Blake,
Here.
Gorski.
Here. We have a quorum. Yeah. Okay. And I don't believe Crystal Soltau gave us indication she wouldn't be here in person or remote. Did that change? Did anybody notify of anything else? Okay. So we do not have any board members attending by means of other than physical presence. Communications and petitions / public comment. No public comment, no communications and petitions. Do we have any recognition of visitors? No recognition of visitors? 8. So we are going to adjourn to closed session to discuss the following: security procedures, school building safety and security, and the use of personnel and equipment to respond to an actual, a threatened, or reasonably potential danger to the safety of employees, students, staff, the public, or public property per Section 2C8, and litigation has been filed, is pending, or probable per Section 2C11, all in accordance with the Illinois Open Meetings Act. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Kadia,
Second.
seconded by Nelson. Roll call.
Goldsmith, yes. Nelson,
Yes.
Trojan.
Yep.
Simpson,
Yes.
Kudia,
Yes.
Blake,
Yes.
Gorski.
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right. So we've got 2 items for closed. I think the people who are going to stay know who they're going to stay, right? Yep.
That continues the Star Trek.
Done.
Yeah. All right, are we all back?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'd like to reconvene, coming into open session. And there was no action taken during the session, but as a result of the closed session, I'd like to, I had it written down for me because I'm a simple guy that way. Action as a result of the closed session, I move to approve the confidential settlement agreement and release between Rock Valley College and Andrea Hudson. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Motion by John Nelson, seconded by Isaiah.
Kristen.
Or Kristen. Okay, Kristen. Roll call.
Goldsmith, yes. Nelson.
Yes.
Prosian.
Yes.
Simpson.
Yes.
Udea.
Yes.
Blake.
Yes.
Gorski.
Yes,
Motion carries.
thank you very much. General presentations. Any general presentations? We have none, thank you. You can speak up. This isn't your first time here. I think you've been here at least once or twice, right?
have.
Yeah. Approval of minutes. Do I hear a motion to approve both the July 8th, 2025 Committee of the Whole and July 2025 regular meeting minutes?
moved.
Moved by
Seconded.
Gloria, seconded by
Isaiah Blake.
Isaiah. Roll call.
Goldsmith, yes. Nelson.
Yes.
Prosian.
Yes.
Simpson.
Yes.
Udea.
Yes.
Blake.
Yes.
Gorski.
Yes,
Motion carries.
thank you. We're going to action items now. Under item 1, we're going to, do I hear a motion to approve claim sheet check register July 2025 BR 8308?
So moved.
Moved by John Nelson.
Second.
Seconded by Kristen Simpson. Any discussion? Roll call.
Goldsmith, yes. Nelson.
Yes.
Prosian.
Yes.
Simpson.
Yes.
Udea.
Yes.
Blake.
Yes.
Gorski.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Item number 2 under actional items, approve purchase report A, FY 2026 purchases, BR 8309-A. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Bob Trojan, seconded by Isaiah. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Goldsmith, yes. Nelson.
Yes.
Prosian.
Yes.
Simpson.
Yes.
Udea.
Yes.
Blake.
Yes.
Gorski.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Item number 3 under action items, approve purchase report B, FY 2026 purchases, BR 8309-B. Do I hear a motion?
Moved.
Moving by Bob Trojan,
Seconded.
second by Isaiah. Any discussion?
I will be voting no on this.
Any changes since the cow?
None other than it was pulled out from purchase report A.
Okay, thank you very much. Hearing no other discussion, roll call.
Goldsmith, yes. Nelson.
No.
Trojan.
Yes.
Simpson.
Yes.
Udea.
Yes.
Blake.
Yes.
Gorski.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Item 4, approve purchase report C, FY 2026 purchases, BR 8309-C. Do I hear a motion to approve?
Moved.
Moved by
Second.
Bob Trojan, seconded by Gloria Cadilla. Any discussion?
I
Go ahead.
would say, as I and other trustees over time have said, is that the items that we're approving were thoroughly discussed in the previous meeting, the whole meeting, and I will be supporting certainly purchase report D.
We're working on C. Did you say C?
C?
Yeah. Any changes to purchase report C since the cow?
None other than it was pulled out from the original purchase report A.
Any other
I
discussion?
will not be supporting this.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, just making sure we're good on it. Oh, any other discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Goldsmith, yes. Nelson,
No?
Brogan,
Yes.
Simpson,
No.
Kudia,
Yes.
Blake,
Yes.
Gorski.
Yes,
Motion carries.
that was my drum roll. There's the drum. Okay, approve purchase report D, FY 2026 emergency purchase, BR 8309-D. Do I hear a motion to approve?
Moved.
Moved by Bob Trojan.
Seconded.
Seconded by Isaiah. Any discussion? Rick, would you remind us what this is for?
This is an emergency purchase to replace a desiccant wheel, which is a part within an air handling unit in the JCSM building that controls the humidity, temperature, and overall function of the building. That part has failed, and we need to replace it quickly in order to meet some. We won't be able to replace it in the wintertime, so we need to order it now in order to get it and get it replaced before winter hits.
That was discussed at the cow meeting, yes?
Yes, sir.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Goldsmith, yes. Nelson,
Yes?
Brogan, Simpson,
Yes.
Kudia,
Yes.
Blake,
Yes.
Gorski.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, we have a motion. Do I hear a motion to approve the farm lease agreement BR 8310?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Bob Trojan, seconded by Gloria Cadilla. Any questions? Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Goldsmith, yes. Nelson,
Yes?
Brogan,
Yes.
Simpson,
Yes.
Kudia,
Yes.
Blake,
Yes.
Gorski.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Motion to approve the amendment to Board Policy 320010, job posting and hiring. This is the second reading, so we're voting on it. BR 8311. Do you have a motion to approve?
Moved.
Moved by Bob Trojan,
Second.
seconded by Gloria Cadilla. Any discussion? Reminder, this report is still going to be presented to us, but it'll be reported to us just as reports and not something we will be taking an action on, but it will still be a report filed on a monthly basis.
Right.
Any questions?
Nope.
All right, roll call.
Goldsmith, yes. Nelson,
Yes?
Brogan,
Yes.
Simpson,
Yes.
Kudia,
Yes.
Blake,
Yes.
Gorski.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Any new business under?
No, there's no new.
Oh, God. If it wasn't for that closed session, we'd be moving at breakneck speed. Any unfinished business?
There's no unfinished business.
All right. I could get used to you being there. All right. Updates and reports. The president's update. Did he phone one in from the deck of the boat that he's on or anything?
No, there's no president's update.
Okay. Leadership team update.
I will lead out the leadership update by sharing that we onboarded 11 new faculty prior to the start of the fall semester. 9 of those faculty members were able to participate in a full-day orientation, in which they learned more about the college's mission, vision, and core values. That Saturday, we offered an abbreviated orientation for our adjuncts. Both of those days were filled with conversation and excitement, indicating the start of an amazing academic year. For the rest, I will start with Dr. Pyer.
Hi. Chairman, can I ask
Go
a
ahead.
question, please?
Sure.
11 new faculty, 9 came to the, is there a separate orientation for adjunct?
Yes.
How many came to that, or how many?
There are plenty, and 12 came to that. It was not mandatory, but something that we offered, and 12 adjuncts came to the adjunct orientation.
That more or less than last.
This was actually the first time we've offered it in over 10 years, so it was more than last year.
Any other questions?
Thanks for doing that
Thank you.
for the
Very
adjuncts.
excited to.
Ready? Thank you. Good evening, trustees. It's been a wonderful start to the fall semester, and it's great to have all of our students, faculty, and staff back on campus. This evening, I would like to provide an update on a couple of items that are being guided by the Governor's Office, the Illinois Board of Higher Ed, the Illinois Community College Board, and the Illinois Student Assistance Commission. On August 19th, Governor Pritzker announced the launch of One-Click College Admit. The program is a statewide direct admissions program for Illinois public universities and community colleges. Through the One-Click College Admit program, high school seniors and community college transfer students in Illinois will receive college acceptances into the state's public universities by meeting only one criterion for admission, their grade point average. This new program waives additional applications, application fees, essays, and letters of recommendations for students. Through this, the State of Illinois program, high school seniors, community college transfer students in Illinois will receive college acceptances into their state's public universities by meeting only one, I skipped that line. Already did that one. Students who have opted into the One-Click College Admit program will receive admissions offers during the fall of their senior year or the beginning of as early as the fall of for the fall 26 to the partner public universities and some current community colleges which have begun the program for which they are eligible for the One-Click College Admit program, and Rock Valley College itself will look at fall of 2027 to start this program. The one-click process requires Illinois Community College partners to use the Common App. The Common App, officially known as the Common Application, is an online platform that allows students to apply to a wide variety of colleges and universities with one application. It does streamline the application process by letting students submit this single application and then receive potential offers from more than one institution at one time. Over 1,000 colleges and universities across the country and the world partner with the Common App. Over the past year, 8 community colleges have been working to implement and pilot the Common App. At present, 4 of those colleges have launched that application earlier this year. 3 more are launching this fall, and 1 more will launch before the end of the year. Several RVC staff members have been attending ICCP-led webinars over the past 2 weeks to learn more about the Direct Admit, One-Click College Direct Admit program, and the Common App. Our next step is to pull together a working group of internal staff members to determine the best setup and installation work required and a timeline for RVC to implement. Please note the Common App does come with a cost of $7,000 for the setup and an additional $2,500 annual fee. ICCB has offered each community college a $10,000 grant to cover the initial startup cost. Common App will not charge for the first 2 years their normal processing fee, but after that, by year 3, we'll start charging approximately $4 to $5 per application received through the Common App to those receiving institutions. We will provide further updates in the coming months as they become available. But we're just in the beginning phase for Rock Valley College.
Down here, any questions?
Blake?
John?
Yes. Is it fall of 2027 is the start for both the Common App and the One-Click Admit?
The One-Click Admit is already functional for those institutions, primarily the 4-year public institutions, which have been using Common App for several years now because that's kind of their beginning point. Common App's been around for about a decade, and it's been primarily the target of those applicants have been at looking toward the 4-year institutions. It's only in the last year or so that community colleges have started to look at the Common App through this partnership, particularly with the Direct Admit program in the state of Illinois. So right now, 8 institutions, 8 community colleges were asked to join their pilot program in the last year. 4 of those have launched early in the spring, 3 more this fall, and 1 more probably in a month or so.
And are we one or not?
We are not one of the first 8 that were asked to participate in the first pilot.
Okay.
And we're comfortable with that. We are looking to meet this fall, develop a plan, work with Common App starting spring of '26. That process could take several months. We're hesitant to try and launch by fall of '26 because we know that it is complicated to begin this process, and we would actually need to be done and ready to begin receiving applications as early as spring semester of '26. And we're just not ready for that at this time. So we're looking at fall of '27 as our launch point
For both.
for the direct admit program and the Common App. We need the Common App before we can do the other.
Okay.
Correct.
Bob?
So this ComApp compared to our present application, is the information all the same?
It is, some of it is the same, much of it is not. So we're letting the 8 other institutions be the guinea pigs to try and trial error all of the required questions that we have through ICCB and our reporting processes that we have through ICCB. So they are working together to get hopefully as much of that cleaned up as possible. But each institution takes a base Common App and can adjust it to their specific needs. I can't imagine we're going to be all that different, but we certainly have our own set of planned questions that we use.
But it's only an application. It does not cover tuition.
Correct. It's the application to our institution. The direct admit program is a benefit to our students because they will see what institutions will get an almost immediate admissions offer instead of waiting. But the community colleges, we offer admissions to every student that applies. So our students looking at the community college won't honestly see a huge benefit, but they'll see in transfer. So our community college students could use the Common App when they apply to transfer and see the current 10 institutions in the state of Illinois that are partnering with Common App. 2 are currently not. They may in the future, but currently there's 10 four-year public universities partnering. A transfer student from Rock Valley would see automatically, based on GPA and their basic demographic information provided during the application, which institutions they would be accepted at. And they can make their next steps. Does that help?
Oh,
You, Gloria.
Hey, Gloria?
yeah, did I hear you right? You said that ICCB is providing a grant of $10,000 for
$10,000 to
every-
each community college to begin the launch of the Common App, which the initial install is about a $7,000 project and a $2,500 fee.
Okay, secondly, is it possible for you to send me a copy of this program so I can study it a little more?
I
By
can,
email, an attachment or something?
I can send you my notes, and in my notes, I can include a link to it's
Perfect.
one-click direct admit. If you looked up one-click Illinois or one-click direct admit Illinois, that would take you to a page, but I will send this.
Oh, wonderful, great, thank you.
I'd like to
And he did say he's going to let somebody else break the system before we jump on board.
That's my
You kind of
plan.
did that with the CRM system here, too. I like
Yes.
that. Thank you.
It's nice to have others test out the bugs. And I actually have a meeting Friday with the vice presidents that are in my similar role around the state. And that's the number one topic for our conversation is to learn more about the experience of those 8 institutions that have
course.
begun this process already and hear from them about how it's going.
You can send it out, but I'm not interested until it's no longer vaporware and it's actually,
Functioning.
someplace.
Understood.
Are you anticipating that this would cause like a lot of burden on your office? More, I'm imagining if students have the opportunity to do one-click admit and they're just like going click, down the line of schools.
That's honestly why we want to take a bit of time is to try to reduce confusion. And my initial response to the webinars that I've learned about is a little bit of confusion. And so if I'm confused about how this is all going to work, I'm confident that our future students will also be confused. So I'm comfortable personally taking a little bit of time to understand this better as we look to roll it out. So our goal would be to work with Common App directly as our consultant for their tools and install that so when the information is received from Common App to Rock Valley College, it does come into our Salesforce CRM first, and then we can do additional cleanup. It will take staff time and resource for sure to make sure that we're importing the right data into our then Aleutian colleague system because we don't want them to get bad information inside of our student information system at the end.
And he mentioned Salesforce. Now they're doing, and you're in progress of expanding Salesforce.
Correct.
Here now, too. So we may not want, or you may not want to have people learning 2 different new systems at the same time. So.
We anticipate because the Common App and the Direct Admit program is really heavily targeted toward the high school seniors as they start to rise into the senior year. So we will want to keep our own Salesforce application, not Common App, our regular Salesforce application for those students that are not in that specific target zone that the Common App is trying to fit. So we will certainly have anybody who's graduated high school a year or 2 or 3 ago wanting to use our regular application process and not the Common App, for example.
Any other questions on our program that
So
he's
yeah,
trying
we
to
will
punt
have
down
2
the road?
applications running effectively, one through the Common App and our own. So again, also why we want to take our time.
Thank you.
Thank you
you.
for the questions.
Thank you. Question? Next up.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Human Resources sponsors a monthly new employee orientation to provide guidance, insight, and resources to support our new employees. This orientation has been moved from a virtual format to a face-to-face format so that our employees may directly connect with leadership across campus. I would like to extend thanks to Justin Severson, our professional development specialist, for leading this. Additionally, on August 14th, the Employee Appreciation Committee sponsored a summer ice cream social. A special thank you goes out to Christine Lott, our Director of Employee Relations, for coordinating this event and providing opportunities to bring employees together from across campus. And finally, another opportunity that we have to bring employees together is our upcoming Fall Development Day, which will occur on September 2nd. This day will be comprised of interactive learning opportunities for our employees. The theme of this year's Development Day is Access and Innovation. Bing Liu, our distinguished alumnus and film director, will be our keynote speaker. And this concludes my updates. Thank you.
Okay.
Any questions?
Can we come to that?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay.
Anything else?
No.
Thank you very much.
All right. Good evening. This marks the second week of classes here at Rock Valley College, and enrollment is strong. As of this week, fall credit hour enrollment is 4% ahead of last year, 3% ahead of budget, and 99% to the stretch goal. I want to thank everyone who attended and helped us to celebrate the placement of the last beam on the Downtown West buildings. The Downtown West last beam celebration on August 15th was a great way to ring in 815 Day. Attendees represented a variety of stakeholder groups, from state and federal elected officials to contractors to employees and nonprofit leaders. Elected officials in attendance included Trustee Bob Trojan, Rockford Mayor Tom McNamara, Alderman Tamir Bell, Representative Maurice West, Senator Steve Stottleman, and Laura Palestrini from Congressman Darren LaHood's office. All state and federal elected officials from District 511 were invited to attend. The RVC marketing team and WREX did a great job of covering the event. Elected officials also supported us by sharing pictures and well wishes through their social media outlets. We were thrilled to share this milestone with our community. Thank you.
Any questions?
Thank you.
Yes. Your enrollment, that was just the fall?
Yes.
What about
correct.
fall plus summer? 'Cause
Oh, I
thought
don't have that in front of me, but I think
Summer was running ahead, I thought.
Dr. Pryor has it.
Combined, 4 point something with fall, but what about plus the summer?
Great question. Combined summer and fall, for our regular goal, we are at 106% to budget at $63,739 and 101.5% to our stretch goal budget for both periods combined.
Compared to last year.
Compared to last year, 5.8% above.
Any other questions? Thank you, and congratulations.
Good evening, trustees. I just have a brief announcement. So ICCB 2 weeks ago awarded us $900,000 for the Workforce Empowerment Initiative grant. So we have this $900,000 for FY 2026. Program is doing pretty good. The last performance measurable goals dashboard that was done, we had exceeded expectations in every one of the goals that was set for the program. So we look forward to this next fiscal year. Thank you.
John?
I'm sorry, Dr. Stewart. What program was that? Just the general ATC?
No, this is the Workforce Empowerment Initiative grant. It used to be called the Workforce Equity Initiative, and it was renamed to the Workforce Empowerment Initiative. It's a program geared towards minoritized students.
So will some of that money be used to increase the smart cap next summer?
No, we can't use that money for that. We have to look for alternative funding for that.
Remind us what that will help fund.
So that will help fund, we have healthcare programs, we have truck driver training program, we have some students that do CNC machining, some students that do collision repair, and so forth. So
Okay, and that was $900,000?
$900,000.
Congratulations.
Thank you
very much.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Good job.
Gloria?
No, I was just saying, good job.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I only have one small update. Based on the consensus of the board to move forward with the emergency repairs of the JCSM, we did move forward and enact a contract with Hartwig Mechanical LLC for that, and the parts have been ordered. And so we are hoping that they will be here in less than 12 weeks. But we did move forward with that. And thank you for voting for
Good,
it.
and we voted to approve the funding after the fact. Thank you very much, as we had discussed previously. So thank you. Ellen.
Good evening, and we have a few things here. The Financial Services Department has completed the field work associated with our fiscal year 25 audit for both the college audit and the single audit. And if it was not for the dedication of the Accounting Services Department, which includes Sarah Shumway, Shannon Lee, and Hannah Edwards, and the support of Accounts Payable, Purchasing, Payroll, and Lena Davis, our Executive Director of Financial Aid, this would not have been accomplished less than 60 days from our fiscal year end. Also, towards the end of June, you would have received a standard SAS 99 or Statement of Accounting Standard, the Fraud Risk Assessment Inquiry. Last Friday, Ann sent a reminder to the board that at that time, Sickich was waiting for responses from all but one board member yet. So if you would please return your responses as soon as possible. It does assist the auditors in identifying any additional testing required. Also, you may remember last year that Dr. Spearman and Trustee Kudia were part of the Advocacy and Equity in Community College Funding Working Group. Based on recommendations, 3 working groups have been created: the Equalization, Technical Modeling, Base Modeling, the Base Operating Technical Modeling, and the Dual Credit Groups. The work groups consist of individuals from the community colleges, from the finance, institutional research, academic services departments, as well as various presidents. I want to share that I am serving on the Base Operating Technical Modeling Group, which started meeting in August. This group will is looking for model development for the Base Operating Grant, as well as incorporating the recommendations. Number 2, establishing a base funding amount that provides each district with a foundation level of operational support. And recommendation 3, adopt an equity-driven funding model that provides districts with adequate resources aligned with their student needs, supported by targeted investments to improve outcomes, and allowing districts the flexibility to determine the best strategies for implementation. And lastly, if you'll recall, the board asked the college to engage Sheridan Wealth Advisors to assist us in pursuing the employee retention credit in October of 23. We filed for credit with the Internal Revenue Services for quarters 1 and 2 of calendar year of 21. The college received our Q1 21 payment in May of 2025, and we are now have been notified that we'll be receiving the payment for the Q2 2021 in the amount of $2.96 million, plus interest for a total of $3.83 million. Also, in September, we'll be bringing to you for your approval that Sheridan Wealth Advisors, which will receive a consulting fee of 20% of the claim filed. So you will see that on the September purchase report for $592,097. And that concludes my report.
Any questions for Ellen?
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Hearing none. Any other leadership team updates? That was it. Okay. We have the ICTA report update.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I went to the executive committee, as I am the chairman, I guess, of our region, and as such, I sit on the executive committee. most of what we talked about was how are we going to get baccalaureate through the legislature, and cutting to the chase. And I did ask a few probing questions, to which some of the speakers said, well, I don't want to get too far into the weeds, but the House, the Senate has retained their philosophy on passing bills, which is to cobble together a majority of Republicans and Democrats, but the House has changed in an attempt to break away from Speaker Madigan's model and be more transparent, I guess. And the speaker, current speaker, won't put a bill forward unless 90 Democrats sign on to it. And so what can happen is that a group of Democrats can, I may be wrong on the number, but it might be 70, it might be 90. A group of Democrats can prevent a bill from being called to the floor. And that's apparently what happened with the baccalaureate bill, but the word is that there'll be some further negotiations, and we should have a baccalaureate in the next session, not in the veto session, but coming up in either 2026 or 2027. I believe it's 2026, which is good news. But as everyone knows, things can change on a dime in the legislature, and there are a lot of factors in play. As far as the association itself, they're in good financial shape. I'm on the finance committee. We did have one of our director of media relations resign after 40 years on the job. But she made us proud because she had got herself elected and has taken the role, a paying role, of the president of the National Organization of Women, following in the Pope's footsteps, coming from Illinois, I guess. And she's going to be working 4 years there, and in the meantime, I believe they're looking for, and they may have hired her, someone to replace her in terms of the diversity, equity, and inclusion committee. They are, and I would say the executive committee is unyielding in that area. And again, the most important committee they have is government affairs, and that's where we talk about what's going on in Springfield, what's going on in Washington, D.C. There apparently were no bills in the veto session. There were no vetoes, although word was that maybe the governor would ultimately veto a couple of bills. So technically, I suppose there's nothing for them to be doing, but they'll be doing who knows what. The scene in Washington is unfathomable to most observers. And all you have to do is look at the national news to figure that out. And that was about the long and short of it. It was my attendance was cut short because I had my daughter was in the hospital in Madison, and I had to go up there unexpectedly for that. But the executive committee is more of the working body of the association, and it's nice to get the inside scoop on that. So, but that's it.
Thank you very much. Any questions for John on the ICTA report? Okay, I'm going to mix up the agenda just a little bit. I'm going to ask for a student trustee report next. And I'm doing this because we've had a long line, ever since I've been on board, of really great student trustees. And I always find their reports wholly more interesting than anything that we have to offer. So I want to get to it first. So thank you very much.
And I also have a verbal report after this to give you guys too. So
Okay.
let me just start off with this. To the Board of Trustees, the Chair and President Dr. Spearman, who is currently absent. After discussing different approaches with Dr. Pyer, we determined that Welcome Week would provide a better opportunity to gather authentic student feedback than Orientation Week. While the new student orientation weeks were a success, they serve important functions, helping students feel more prepared for the first day of class, providing opportunities to win prizes and enjoy free food and games, enabling students to make friends before classes start, connecting them with reliable staff members, and improving their chances for academic success. However, the focus during orientation is primarily on these foundational support activities. The idea for targeting feedback from students during Welcome Week is that new students will feel more settled and comfortable by Welcome Week as they will be settling into the college environment, creating conditions for more genuine conversations about their college experience beyond these initial orientational goals. Additionally, Welcome Week will give me the opportunity to observe interactions between new and returning students, which provides valuable insights about campus culture and community building that wouldn't be available during orientation when students are primarily interacting with staff and within their new student cohort. Students will also be joining different RVC student life college clubs and participating in many events, which will allow me to see how effective RVC's outreach is in promoting engagement and participation in the campus community. This strategic approach will enable me to gather more comprehensive and authentic feedback about the student experience, which will better serve my role in representing students' perspectives to the board. Now, my verbal report. So I am also part of SGA. I am the student trustee. I serve in the student trustee role in that group as well. We did the club involvement fair this today. I've been here since 11 a.m., so I am tired as all get out. But it was, I would say, the most turnout I've ever seen in terms of student involvement. In terms of, for a lot of clubs such as Student Government Association, we had about 2 pages full of names filled for people who wanted to join SGA. And for our first meeting today, we had about 10 people show up, which is better than, from last year where there was only me and another person. And we're expected to have more people coming next week on Tuesday. So that we'll see how that goes. And then also with other clubs such as like BSU, InterVarsity, and ALAS, there was also increased signups for those clubs as well. So I was really seeing a very huge difference in terms of students who when I first had joined up in the fall of 2024, there was starting to be a little bit of spurt of growth in these clubs. But now with such a huge student enrollment increase this year, I've seen more student involvement, especially in terms of, for example, when we had the pit stop event that happened on Monday. We had a lot of students. Usually there's students that would come into the student life room, which is another room where students can be able to study, hang out, or get resources for their class. And pretty much some of the clubs also have a lot of their stuff stationed there. So it's an all-in-one place. And pretty much I was seeing, usually there would be regular members that would be going there. I was seeing different people coming into the room previously than from the spring semester and fall of 2024. So that was a huge improvement and a very, awesome sight to see in terms of that. So I'm feeling like student life in general and student involvement is going to increase greatly this year. I'm very proud of where we're coming at in terms of that. And one of the things is I know with a lot of these clubs increasing in membership, they're going to want to do a lot more in terms of events, in terms of, going places in terms of related to their club, their respective clubs. So I think that that's something that I would feel the board should keep in mind, that all of us should keep in mind as well. But and especially in terms of the attitudes of the students, I work in the bookstore, the RVC bookstore, and a lot of the students, first day, they're nervous, they don't know what it is, but the one thing that has really been helpful is the resources that we have had set up too, which has been great to basically direct students in which ways they can be able to be successful. But in terms of like the returning students as well, I'm seeing, from my observations, I've seen returning students becoming a lot more involved this year than in their first year. This is somewhat anecdotal, but that is just my observation. But other than that, I'm just seeing positives across the board on this one. So I'll have more in terms of my next report about the rest of the week as these events happen. Does anybody have any questions?
Questions?
I just have a quick comment. Did you say because of the increase of enrollment that may be a factor?
Yes, I think so, because I would say in the back lot, pretty much the parking lot out there, I was able to park near the campus. Now I have to park in like lot A, which is like way far away in front of the library. And pretty much all the parking lot is pretty much full by 9 a.m. Like there is not, I have to go all the way out to be able to park. So, and especially with a lot of the classes that I've gone to and stuff, they're completely full. And I've had one of my friends that tried to get into classes, but it was only able to get into one because all the classes were pretty much filled up to capacity. So he couldn't even get on a wait list. It was just, yeah.
Good to know.
But yeah.
Great. Thank you so much.
Any other questions?
So does our head count show that big increase? I mean, if our parking lots are full, does that mean we're up head count wise 20% or something?
Head count would be very similar to credit hours, probably about 5%, I would guess.
5% more. Yeah. So is it because there's more morning classes when he was observing, or? I mean,
I don't believe there's more morning classes. I think our mix is pretty straightforward each from term to term. We try to provide a balance of that, and I know Dr. Smith, she might want to add to that, but we try to provide a balance of morning, afternoon, and beginning to continue to try to add some evening options, and we certainly have a robust online offering as well. I don't know if it's just a number of students that are new and taking advantage. What I like to believe that students are talking to other students about the benefit of having an involved and active and engaged environment, and how much more fruitful that can be for their experience.
Good.
I credit to students for that.
Well, I just want to let our student trustee know that when I campaigned for this office first in 2017, one of the things that was a problem was that our students weren't getting into classes that they needed to get in to complete their associate's degree in 2 years. So I hope that's not becoming a problem. I really do.
Any other questions? Nice report.
Yeah.
Good report.
Thank you.
Because now I'll start the trustee comments, and I'll start with Gloria.
I guess just a couple of quick things. I'm glad we got a copy of the CLR Bob is really good about distributing those everywhere I see him. And I was looking through the community catalog, and I'm just in awe of what we offer. It's, this is great news, and I'm hearing about the general programs that we offer, but just hearing from the community, because I'm out everywhere, not everywhere, but almost, and people are just commenting about the many great things that we're doing here. I mean, they love the videos that show up on YouTube and the commercials that show up on TV. I think there's more awareness of who we are and what we're doing here. And again, I'm just in awe of everything that everybody's doing. So, team effort.
Any questions for Gloria?
I think the CLR number of classes is at a record number of, 167 or something? So it's a record number of classes.
Super.
Is that true? Good, great. Any other questions for Gloria? Well, I'm going to comment. I'll just say thank you very much, Dr. Smith, for being here. And you have mastered the Star Wars Jedi mind trick of no drama. So you did a very good job on that. Thank you very much. Jenna?
No report
Bob?
for me.
Oh, well, as earlier mentioned, I did attend the last beam ceremony, which I thought was quite interesting. A lot of good turnout. A warm day, but still we had a good turnout, as Heather mentioned, and I was very pleased to sign my name and my wife's name as the beam went up in the air, and by golly, we're getting closer to heaven.
Kristen?
Just, I don't really have anything except for welcome back to the new year. That's it.
I dread this, but go ahead. Yeah, go
Well,
ahead.
thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I think trustees should comment more, not less. I was happy to get a which, and they have a outlet on Riverside. And I saw a nice young man with a gold sweatshirt or T-shirt. It was a hoodie, actually. And it said Rock Valley Golden Eagles, and I asked him if he went to Rock Valley. He said he did. It turns out he was a catcher on our baseball team, and he thinks our baseball team, by the way, is going to be very, very good this year. It's always nice to talk to a student in a non college location and get the scoop. And it reminded me of one of the issues that I did not put in my ICCTA report, but it is of concern to the executive board there, and that is, how do we get trustees to come to the ICCTA meetings? And they're all invited, and as long as we have a membership there, which we do, and the meetings are very informative. We have great speakers, and it's a good place to learn our craft. And so I pretty much have been the lone representative at the regular meetings since we rejoined the ICCTA, and I would urge my fellow trustees to make some time to go to those meetings and make us look. We look good, but make us look even better.
I'll pass this along to the ICCTA. Why don't they stream those meetings so more of us could do it without having to drive a long distance? I can't drive for more than an hour and 15 minutes without having to take a break, so every 3-4 hour trip winds up being 5 hours.
Well, most of the trips are, most of the locations I go are in the Chicagoland area. They're not that.
I'm tired of going to Chicago. Did that for 20 years. Thanks very much. So.
Well, that's not That's not a
But pass it
recognizable
along. Would you pass
excuse
it
or
along
problem.
to them and see how they feel about it? Appreciate it. Foundation report.
Okay, I have a few things here. The downtown campus campaign of $2.5 million is still in the quiet phase, but they are well on the way to matching the need. But despite that, there'll be a letter going out to the public in November, which will make it official campaign. So I think that bodes very well for where we stand with that program. The Last Chance Scholarship Program, which ended on August the 14th, turned up 158 new applications, which brought the total number of applications for this period of 832, which again was a record. There's still over $250,000 available, and if all of that money were committed, we would have awarded $800,000 scholarships this year, which again is a record. October 16th, there'll be a family breakfast, which everybody's invited to that. Typically, it's the alumni that do show up. November the 8th is the annual scholarship luncheon, which all the trustees will be invited to that. And they already have committed to April 30th of next year for the second CEO challenge with a goal of $100,000 to be raised. This past one, there was $70-some thousand that was raised, so the goal will be more in next year, number 2. That's the number 2 CEO challenge. And finally, there will be a discussion at the upcoming board meeting in September of naming rights for the 3 athletic fields. And they're talking of $1 million for each field. They're talking of several different options of how that money could be dispersed by the donor. So we're on the threshold, perhaps, of another avenue of fundraising. So we'll watch that very carefully, of course. Their board will have to decide if, when, how to, and so on and so forth. But that's what's cooking now.
Question, Bob.
Yep.
So I know we've talked about naming rights and some limited over a period of time for the downtown campus. What do they see being naming rights for the field?
Well, it'd be the same discussion that they'll have to take up, whether it's going to be for 10 years.
So they're discussing the option.
They're still discussing. They think they would like to do it. That is naming each field.
Right.
So it's a case of how does the money get to us over 10 years, over 5 years, over 2 years, and is it a 10-year name or 20-year name? And I just saw recently that the Downtown Sports Corps, UW, they're looking for new namers for that one. So, that's a sports factory. So be a lot of money going after for sports fields and buildings and whatever.
Well, I think there's quite a bit of interest in the community for that type of stuff. So, yeah.
I would suggest that if they haven't, that they contact Hennig, who has urged us to.
Who?
Hennig Manufacturing.
Oh, Hennig. Oh, yeah. Well, he was actually one of the CEOs on the CEO Challenge. And, of course, I was there, too, at the CEO.
You didn't, did you participate in that?
Oh, yeah, I was.
He has a card.
I got a card. I got a baseball card with my name on it. They even gave me a walk-up song. I forget the name of it. But it's by the Trogs.
Next time, might I make this suggestion?
Yeah.
Whatever events you did, get your grandson there and tag off.
Well, actually, I did bring my great-grandson to the robotics competition. And after he just loved watching the things going on, playing, we had younger kids, for younger kids. He spent an hour putting things together all by himself without even encouraging or whatever. So, yes, I did.
Oh, good.
I'm training these kids young,
I love seeing Bob like this. When I first got on the board, I stopped by the robotics competition, and he's just like a big kid, and his face lights up. He loves this place. Somebody was asking me, "Oh, do you think you'd ever be nominated for trustee?" No way. But I got Bob Trojan's always on my short list for nominee because he's just a big cheerleader, big fan of everything, gets involved, puts his time and effort into it. So I want to thank you, Bob, for everything that you do.
Well,
Not that we don't do stuff ourselves,
Yeah,
but
well, yeah.
I love the way he glows when he talks about the college. So,
Well, thank you.
I have a quick question for Bob.
Yeah.
John mentioned a little bit ago about us trustees attending the ICTA meetings. Is it possible for us to attend a foundation meeting? Because, and not that I'm saying I want to do it, I guess I'm just asking, because a lot of times on literature and brochures, we see the list of names, but a lot of times I can't connect with them because I don't see their faces. So are trustees welcome to attend the foundation
Well, I'll
meetings?
certainly ask Brittany and the chairman if that would be okay. Invite other trustees.
Okay, I was just curious.
and I'll
Thank
ask
you.
for Joe's advice on this. Years ago when I was in township, we had this discussion, and our township attorneys said, well, if you go to like a partner organization and three or more, a majority of a quorum shows up for it, that becomes an open meeting. Now, if you go to like a township officials organization, something, and you all go, unless you're meeting and discussing, topics, if you're just sitting there, being presented to or a presenter, that necessarily doesn't fall into that. Since it's an open meeting anyway, most people could just walk right in. It's just, you're walking a fine line when you have a majority of a quorum show up. And even, we discussed this when I was on the county board. All these people after county board meetings, we go to the same restaurant afterwards. I'm like, and they're talking business, and they're talking about what to do next. And I'm like, this is a legal meeting. I'm leaving. So any comments on that, Joe?
Yeah, I mean, I think that, trustees can attend training events like ICTA conferences, for example. Right. Those have been held to be exempt. However, if 3 trustees are at an ICTA event, they should not be conducting college business because that would violate the OMA.
But how about the foundation?
Well, foundation would be limited to 4, right?
Well,
or 3.
My concern with attending a foundation event might be that the purpose of trustee going to the foundation meeting is probably college business. So the appearance might be troublesome. Yeah. There's definitely a danger. Maybe if you had 3 trustees there and they didn't talk to each other, sat in different areas of the room, it might be safe, but
we can arrange that.
Yeah, it can't be that interesting. I think one meeting might do Gloria. It certainly would for me.
I would just go for the food. I don't know, but I'm just kidding.
I also made it clear at the last meeting that we're going to have our trustee retreat. And by all means, they're all invited. And by all means, they should look at the materials and ask questions. I was frankly disappointed at the last year. I mean, there was hardly any questions raised from the retreat by their board.
No, but I thought last year's retreat was pretty good overall anyway. I mean,
are you talking our retreat or their retreat?
Our retreat reviewed by them. In other words, we gave them the videos and all that kind of thing.
Well, and I'm not, it must be your Jedi trick.
They need to be more active in knowing what's going on.
I think the information over the last few years being presented to us in advance has been very, very good. And not that it wasn't great the first time, but it's getting better and more targeted to the type of questions that we typically ask and the information we're looking for. So you should all be congratulated for that. Thank you.
Very good.
And maybe they found it informative enough where they answered all the questions.
So. Everything was so compact, and what more can you ask?
So, the next 2 reports are informational only. Does anybody have any questions? Again, the personnel report doesn't really change in terms of the content. It's just we don't take action on it now. And then the Freedom of Information Act request. Anything else? Anything there? Okay. And in respect to that, there's nothing really pressing for another closed session, and in respect to your time for the staff and the board, we are not going to close. So the date of the next committee of the whole meeting is September 9th, 2025 at 5:15 p.m. The meeting will be held in the Performing Arts Room, PAR Room 0214, located in the Educational Resource Center, ERC, on the main campus. And the date of the next regular board meeting is September 23rd, 2025 at 5:15 p.m. And the meeting will be held in the Performing Arts Center, PAR Room 0214, located in the Educational Resource Center, ERC, on the main campus. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Moved by John Nelson, second by Gloria Gadea. Roll call.
Goldsmith, yes. Nelson,
Yes.
Trojan.
Yeah.
Simpson,
Yes.
Kudia,
Yes.
Blake,
Yes.
Gorski.
Yes.
We are adjourned.
Thank you.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Good job, everybody.